Hi, I here. This is a reading for the sign of Capricorn. We're going to pull 2 cards from the Thoth deck, and those are going to represent the energy that is around you. We're then going to check what is on the bottom of the Thoth deck, and that will be your general energy. We're then going to pull 9 cards from the Huge Tarot deck, and we'll turn those over little by little to see what story unfolds. The card that we see on the bottom of that deck is going to be the general theme of this reading. And once we see what story is coming through with all of this, what messages we're supposed to understand, then we're going to pull 1 card from the shadow deck to represent what is going on in your unconscious energy or your subconscious thoughts. And then the bottom of that deck is going to represent what you don't see coming. So let's just see what happens. So this is a reading for the sign of Capricorn. So we're going to tune into the energy of Capricorn and see what messages come through. So let's see what we get. So if Capricorn is your sun, your moon, your rising, however you resonate with the energy of Capricorn, however you want to associate or identify with it, you can use that as a way to help color the message that comes through this reading. And if this reading does not resonate with you in any way, you can always take what does fit and just leave what doesn't. Never try to force anything. But you can also check your other placements, or you can just hang around and see what's going on in the world of Capricorns today. So, okay, what messages can we get for the sign of Capricorn? Alright, so as I said, we're going to pull 2 cards from this deck, and that'll represent the energy that is surrounding you. And the bottom side of this deck will be your general energy. So we'll put down 2 cards, 1 here, 1 there, so that's what's going on around you. And your energy is the 10 of Swords, which is always a difficult energy to deal with. This is the energy of some kind of ruin that is coming. But it doesn't necessarily mean that things have to be all bad. This could be escaping from some bad situation. It just means that the situation that you are currently in is coming to a complete and probably to some degree painful or abrupt or difficult conclusion. So surrounding this ruin, this situation, this ending, I would prefer to say, we have the 6 of Swords and the Knight of Discs. So what is going on around you here, we have reevaluating. So this is the Science card. This is the card of taking your failures and learning from them, which is a nice card to see next to the 10 here. So this failure is being maybe surrounded by some reevaluation. Though it is possible that this reevaluation could be what leads to this ruin. Perhaps you are in this energy of the 6 of Swords at some point, and you realize that what you were doing is not working and it has to come to a conclusion. And over here we have the Knight of Discs. This is someone who has experience and command over the opportunities in his life. This is someone who knows how to get things done. He knows how to take a situation and either expand upon it constructively and practically, or he knows how, given some opportunity that he wants to make happen, he knows exactly how to actually get this to go, bring this into the physical world. So I'm seeing that perhaps you are surrounded by this energy of needing to work on and get a command over some kind of project that you're working on or some kind of situation that you are involved in, and you're maybe weighing your options of what does and does not work and deciding, maybe when these energies come together, they bring you to a place where something's got to give. It's kind of the vibe I'm getting right now. But we still have the rest of the reading to go, so let us now pull our 9 cards from the Huge Tarot deck and see what the rest of the story is for this situation and the general theme of the story. So we're going to pull 9 cards from this deck and then check what's on the bottom. So this is the Huge Tarot deck. It is a classic Rider-Waite style deck, but the art is a little bit different. I've always liked this deck. It's the oldest deck I own. It's the first deck I bought years ago when I had no idea how to read tarot. I bought it in a voodoo shop in New Orleans, and I've always been a fan of this deck, even, like I said before, I even knew how to use the thing. So, alright, so we're going to pull 9 cards from this deck. Let's do a little bit more shuffle. We can do better. There we go. Okay, so what is the story for this Ten of Swords? What has led us to this situation where we have a Ten of Swords surrounded by a Six of Swords and a Knight of Discs? Let's get some context for what's going on here and see what brings us to this present moment. Okay, that feels pretty good. So let's pull 9 cards from here. Okay. So the general theme is the Three of Pentacles. Okay, so this is a story about building something in collaboration with others. So I think the Knight of Discs is either someone you're working with, or it's the situation. Actually, I tend to feel this is probably someone you're calling in to kind of help you figure out how to complete this project. So I think you're going to be collaborating or are already collaborating on some type of project, and perhaps what this is saying is that you are in a state of ruin, or you've reached a state of ruin in the current way that you are trying to accomplish this task. And so in the process of trying to reevaluate and fine-tune the things you have already tried, maybe you're calling in an expert to help you figure out how to actually make this happen. So that's the vibe I'm getting so far, but let's actually see the story unfold and see what brings us to this Ten of Swords. So it all starts here with the moon. Okay, so starting in the darkness and trying to figure out with whatever this project is you're working on or collaborative opportunity. Maybe this is before this opportunity has been brought to your attention. Maybe you were lost to some degree in your life and trying to figure out what you need to do going forward, what you should be putting your time and energy into, or maybe you know what you want to put your time and energy into but do not know how to accomplish it. So again, I feel there's some level of evaluation, but that reevaluation has to come following some kind of failure or obstruction. So perhaps wandering around in the dark trying to figure out how to continue with whatever it is you're working on is going to lead you to some bumps in the road that are then going to have to be used as a means of recalibrating. So let's see what unfolds going forward. So again, we're starting off in the darkness, the unknown, and not really seeing where the path is going to take us, or even if there is a path, just that, you know, we're in this dark space where there may or may not be safety or danger in front of us. Okay, so Judgment and then the Knight of Wands. So I have a feeling that while you were in this dark period, it seemed like things were probably fairly hopeless. In fact, I kind of get the vibe that a piece of you probably died, and not literally, but sort of metaphysically, or maybe metaphysically. I was thinking more metaphorically, but I think some piece of you was lost and was let go of, and this was maybe a dark moment in your life where you were trying to figure out what do we do next. And so then the Judgment comes forth, and something in you is reawoken. I don't know why I can't talk today. Something in you was reawoken, and what was dead, or maybe what felt dormant inside of you in this dark period, was then called into action, and you were then met with this energy of the Knight of Wands of, okay, I don't like where I'm at. I don't want to stay in this place, though, so I'm going to grab my wand and I'm going to forge forward and try to get out of this dark period of my life. So again, I think there was a period where maybe you had lost hope, but then the call of the horn of that Judgment card woke you up and gave you the energy to be able to don the armor to be the Knight of Wands and to climb your way out of this moon. So next we see the Three of Swords and the Six of Cups. So that's so again, the Three of Swords is another card that's representing some kind of pain. There's a lot of sword energy here, so I think there's a lot of mental anguish that is occurring with whatever this journey was, the process of unpacking whatever this project was. So whatever was lost or fell apart in this period, this dark period for you, is still being carried with you. one of the things that you need to heal as you're going forward is that dormant period left some lingering damage on you. And this Three of Swords is representing that continued pain where you look back on that period and perhaps it weighs on you with a level of uncertainty about, am I good enough to do what I'm supposed to do? You know, I have the passion of the Knight of Wands. I'm ready to get up and get going and get out of this space, but there are still wounds that have to be healed. But opposing the Three of Swords is a card that is very much a card of healing. This is a card of, we could say maybe a person from your past has come in to help you deal with the pain that you were going through when you were in this dark period. I get the sense you were probably feeling very alone, very isolated. But then there was someone, maybe a long-term friend or someone from your past that has shown up or did show up when this was occurring, depending on the timeline in which you're experiencing this. But perhaps some other friend or family member came in and helped you nurture yourself and overcome the sort of dark, gloomy, presumably depression that you were in when you were in this moon period. So again, I think you were lost and aimless and feeling a sense of hopelessness, and you have the drive to get out of that hopelessness. But again, there's still scars that are going to be left behind. But you have people around you that are there, presumably people that will or have always been by your side, or you knew maybe that they were the kind of people who would show up when you needed them to. And I think they have shown up to help you heal through this lingering pain from this dark period in which the story all began. And then the Queen of Wands in the middle. So with the Queen of Wands there in the middle, so perhaps the knight needed a companion here to help him get through this dark period. So maybe this person that is helping you heal this pain and these scars has this nurturing energy, a sort of motherly like supportive energy that is helping you rise above the lingering pain that is holding you back. So the Knight of Wands, again, I don't see this as maybe a romantic connection as much as maybe a familial or friendly relation of someone who is helping you heal through the pain and helping you integrate a piece maybe of yourself that is not currently in there. So, as you're navigating through this darkness, you have the energy of a warrior ready to fight your way out of the darkness. But perhaps there needs to be a little bit of tenderness and kindness that also tempers that sort of passion and drive to get out of this dark, scary place. A lot of times, if you go through a really difficult or traumatic experience, it can leave you a bit jaded, and you can be a little bit too defensive and, maybe lash out and hurt people in a way that is not intentional, but it's just a sort of artifact of the pain that you felt trying to come out. And so I feel like this person that is coming to help nurture you is not only healing you with this soft, comforting, again, nurturing energy, but also is something that helps you integrate a side of yourself that needs to be there in order for there to be balance. So we have the Knight and the Queen together. And what would be nice to see is if the King of Wands maybe pops up at some point in the story to show that the energy of the Queen can help the Knight rise into the energy of a king. So perhaps we'll see that. But let's see what we have next. The World and the Empress. Okay, that's nice. So now we're coming out of the darkness. Now as the light of our wand is helping guide us through this dark moon period, and we have this nurturing energy from the people around us, maybe a single person or a group of people represented by the Queen of Wands helping deliver this Six of Cups. This allows you to rise out of that darkness and come into the take this process into completion and opening the door away from this dark era of your life into a more positive era where you can be a more complete version of yourself. And here we see the Empress. Now I feel like this probably is more of a romantic or maybe not romantic, but this isn't another nurturing energy, but it's not a nurturing energy of integrating into yourself. This is a nurturing energy of creating something outside of yourself with other people. Perhaps the project that you're building isn't necessarily a financial project, but perhaps it is a family that you're trying to build in some way. And so maybe you were in this period of feeling very much alone, but a calling came and you were ready to say, I'm going to do something about this. The healing needed to occur, and you went through that healing process, and you've integrated this fiery, passionate energy into yourself that has allowed you to upgrade into the more full version of yourself. And once you have been this more full version of yourself, then you can find the empress that you're looking for that allows you to create the things that you're trying to create in your life. But one last obstacle is the Eight of Swords. Again, I felt a little bit like this energy of the Six of Swords was perhaps not you trying to just fix your methods, but perhaps you were meeting some kind of obstruction by overthinking your methods. And that 6 here is now an 8 of Swords over here, where you are blinded by your own self-doubts. The 3 has now intruded upon your consciousness as you're trying to actually grow and develop and finally take those last steps out of this dark period of your life. But in order to do that, you have to get away from that mental pain that is holding you down. So you have this energy that's helping you heal, and it is certainly helping you heal and grow into this era of becoming the world, or embracing and experiencing everything the world has to offer, and having some Empress energy in your life or future that allows you to create the things you are capable of creating. You know, I'm wondering if perhaps instead of, as I said, I wanted to see the Knight of Wands become the King of Wands, but perhaps in his passionate search to get away from the darkness and to escape these swords that are keeping him imprisoned and held down by his own thoughts, this healing energy that you integrated into yourself together with the nurturing energy of the Empress allows you to become not the King of Wands, but the King of Discs. So you don't just master your passions, but you master how to actually become more integrated into the world around you and become an active participant in building a better future for not just yourself, but everyone around you. And so, again, there's a lot of painful energy that has to be processed here, and that's why I think this feels like such a negative card, is that processing all of this negative energy does come with a final, if I'm going to break out of this cage, I'm going to have to bend the bars and actually break them apart with my bare hands, which will not feel good, but in that painful experience, you will be able to climb out of the prison that is not a real prison, but a prison of the mind. So again, over-evaluating your thoughts, I think, is what's happening with this Science card. It's a positive opportunity, but as you're going down that journey of reevaluating how your thoughts are affecting you, you start to realize that there's more wounds than you had initially thought that needed to be healed. But again, through integrating the feminine and masculine parts of yourself and becoming more powerful in their unity together, you were able to upgrade and take this integration and put it outside of yourself with someone else that you can come into communion with, whether it be romantic or otherwise, just finding a way to have an outlet for all of the strength that you have built through this process, and then become the king that masters the world around him. That's the story I'm getting from this. So now let's pull one card from the shadow deck and see what we get. Okay, so the first card is going to be what is in your unconscious energy, or perhaps your subconscious thoughts throughout all of this. Seeing as this reading was very heavily weighted on the thoughts that are holding you down, I'm curious to see what comes out of this. That was not the best shuffle. Let's try another. Better, but not the best. But let's see what we get. Okay, so what is in your unconscious energy? We have the King of Wands. I wanted to see the King of Wands, and there he was. He was hiding. He was hiding in your unconscious. And that's the idea here, is that there's part of you that is in the Knight of Wands period, but what you have your sort of eye on is strengthening yourself, but not as a tyrant, but strengthening yourself with your more receptive and nurturing side, and all of that fiery energy then comes together, and that's what allows the knight to become the king. This is what gives you the power to be able to fight back against all of this negative sword energy that's holding you back, and allowing you to escape that and become the better version of yourself, so that you can create in the world around you a better future. And so in your mind, you are the King of Wands, but in your actual energy around you, you are the Knight of Discs, which is the king in the Thoth deck. And with all of this powerful energy, that's what allows you to finally break free of this negative thought energy and move forward. And what you don't see coming is the King of Spheres, which is the equivalent of the King of Discs. So again, you are taking all of this energy and upgrading yourself to become this King of Wands, and eventually you will become this King of Discs or Spheres or Pentacles, but you don't see that coming. So this is what you will become, but it's not what you are yet. You have to break out of this cage, and in the process of breaking out of this cage, like a new chick being hatched from an egg, you will grow into this Knight of Spheres or Discs or Pentacles, this king, really, if you want to be able to better your life. And so that is what this work is, the project that you're doing with other people around you. I don't think it's about building something. It's about looking inside of yourself and building a stronger, more powerful version of who you are, or at least what you can be is a better way to think of it. So you've gotten out of a dark period, this dark moon period, but you've had this divine calling of rebirth from that dark era, and you've taken the time to do the work, or you will take the time to do the work to be able to become the full potential that your power is letting you become. So that feels really nice. I hope that was a helpful reading for you. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. If you enjoyed this video, share it with other people. And yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day.